What the fuck have you done now?
Yeah, mate. Sorry. I've had a nightmare. I forgot to put me Pepsi Max cherry can in the fridge. I used my last one. But I had half a bottle in there, a little bit of a bottle in there, so I had to do a bit of the refrigerated bottle one mixed with the non-refrigerated can one. But we're all right. We're soldiering through it, mate. Don't worry about it.
I've always thought you're such a resourceful chap.
Listen, we've all got to make sacrifices during these difficult times, and mine is my glass of Pepsi Max cherry is only slightly chilled. It's only just below room temperature. Not quite the same sacrifice that others have made, granted, but it's a start.
We've all got our battles, mate.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I think this is it. This is all, it's all relative. How are we, mate? All right. I feel like I've not seen you for about a month.
I know, yeah. These weekly sessions, man. I'm having like Motty withdrawal.
This is genuinely my therapy. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. This is my opportunity to get things off my chest and rant. And talk to me, Bezzy, of course, as well. So
yeah. Likewise, it is very much like therapy, and we invite all these people here to watch us talk about our midlife crisis and how shit things are, like unchilled Pepsi Max and stuff. The people who are watching now, when I log into the show, Jay leaves me in the waiting room so I can see what he's doing, but he doesn't know I'm watching. And it's like watching the Truman Show. He's walking back, divering, like, oh, fucking hell. And then you hear the ring pull of the the can go in the background.
Mate, honestly, I do this every time. And every time I do the same thing, right? I have dramas with my light, right? Every time, the same in dramas. I have dramas. I've got this on the books. So I have, like, you know, our mate Andy Crawler there, that's one of them. So I have dramas with how many books. So I tell you what, right? I'm in that as well. I'm in that book. Funnily enough.
Well done.
Not just you that's famous.
What's the context that you're in?
Right, hang on a minute. My miss, you know what? I didn't even realise. I have read this. My missus found it. I think I know what page it is. If I'm wrong, then I'm not going to go through the entire book. It says here, I've got the wrong one. Bear with me. I know this is really great video listening, watching someone read.
This had better not be said, and Jay Motty was there. Is that...
where is it? It says about an interview, and then Justin Mottershead from Q103 was waiting. Yeah. So there you go. You know, as I'm also known as, not just Jay Motty. When I was at Q103, that was my my other name that I used. So yeah, but I don't just use it to leave me, but I've read it. If Ivan's watching, he's a mate. I don't want him to think that's what I did with his biography. Using it to bounce my laptop on, especially when I'm in it.
When's the sequel coming out? We need a new book.
Yeah. Can you write a few more pages actually next time? I want to get my laptop a bit higher. It's a bit darkness and light tonight, isn't it, Arkid? The topics of discussion, because we'll start with the light. Sorry.
Yeah.
If we do an intro, shall I do one?
Yep. You do one. Yep.
I'm Jay or Motty. That's Scotty. This is Scotty and Motty. And this is a podcast where, as always, we talk about what's going on in our lives, in the world, in, you know, the news, entertainment, politics, whatever comes into our tiny minds. And we are both United fans, and it is a seminal moment in the history of Manchester United Football Club because, I've just got a message.
Okay, now.
I've just got a message, sorry. My missus just messaged me because she can hear me shouting, and she went, page 191. Right, so we're doing this. We are. Right, I'm sorry. I am going to be that guy. I'm sorry, Scotty.
I love how proud Laura is that she's remembered the page.
She tweeted Crawler. She tweeted Crawler. He messaged because he's like the nicest guy on the planet. He tweeted her back. Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, BBC done. This is. I think this is. Who's it with? It's with Don McGuinness, who's a mate. It's on to Key 103 and reporter Justin Mottershead, who's been waiting patiently to grab a few minutes with Crawler. There you go. You see. Page 191 of that. Read the rest of the book, not just my bit. It's really good. But yeah, when you get to 191, that's the highlight where he talks to me.
Again, like the manscaping, Anthony Collar has given us no money to plug his book on this show, and we wouldn't take any anyway. Yeah,
no, we do. We know him and we like him. So yeah, as I was saying there before I went off on a tangent, United have looks at the time of recording. Fabrizio Romano, who for me is just like the new Craig Norwood since Craig Norwood retired. He's like, his word is law. He's done the old, here we go. The Donny van der Beek from Ajax is coming to United. It's done. Terms agreed, fee agreed. All he's got to do is have his medical. So, you know, barring anything wrong with that, he's basically going to be a Manchester United player next season. So I don't know about you, Scotty. I've been frantically Googling to remember it.
You know what? I love it. For when you said Seminole, I'm like, I've not even seen him play. Is it Seminole because we actually signed somebody?
Yeah, he could be. He could be terrible, but he's a signing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, this is how bad it is. I was looking, and he not how bad it is, but you know, you got to be. I'll be honest. I'm not going to come here and pretend because we're past all that. He played in the Europa League final for 20 minutes against us. He came on from I was there, but Wikipedia told me that because I don't remember him coming on at all. But obviously that was 3 years ago. From what I gather, he's had a good career since then, the last few years. And he's a sort of from what people are admitting and other people who are trusted saying, and I've seen little bits of clips and stuff. Seems to be almost a similar player to sort of similar-ish to Bruno in an attacking midfield type role, but can sit deep. I might be getting that completely wrong. That's just what I've read. I'm hoping to talk to someone tomorrow or when this goes out later on today on Stretford Paddock, who's going to be able to fill us in a little bit more. But it's a signing, a young Dutch player from Ajax.
Yeah.
Highly rated. Happy?
Ajax centre, they've got a form, haven't they, for bringing good football. They play a good game, don't they? A lot of the people who come through Ajax, they very rarely sell on a dud. I think obviously we bought Daley Blind and Memphis Depay recently from Holland, but still, I mean, it didn't work out for the career, but they were great footballers. Yeah, I mean, it's great to have another signing, but I just love all these in the nose. Like Van der Beek is going to be amazing. He's exactly what we need. Like, you don't watch the Dutch division. Just stop lying. And stop photoshopping his head on them to every shirt 2 minutes after his signing.
You did the best. You did the best tweet. Even though Howson did something similar with me with this beak thing. I like that. When you made his beak at Old Trafford, your thing was funny because he said to me, he messaged me earlier today going, "Oh, Jay will be down Old Trafford on his beak on the way." And I was like, "I'll let you off. It's a Scouse thing, but it's funny." But yeah, I saw your tweet. It was really funny with Bez. But I'm like you, mate. I mean, what made me laugh was everyone's been focused on Sancho. A lot of these ITK accounts who aren't ITK at all, they just say things that are just bland and unprovable. Like, well, my guy's telling me that if United pay up the money, it could be on the way. Well, anyone knows that. That's common. You know, my 5-year-old knows that if United pay money that a club wants for a player, they'll get a player. That's not being in the know.
If I go to the shop and I want some milk and I hand over the money, I know I'm getting that bottle of milk.
That's how transactions work. That's not anything.
Would you like a receipt?
If United pay the money, we can sign him. Fucking no shit, Sherlock. You must have been top of your class. Eh? What's this new fandangled sort of method of system of purchasing where you give people money? The money that they ask for the goods that you want, it's absolutely ridiculous. It'll never catch on. So yeah, everyone's been sort of saying this, and it'll be this week. Oh, my man's telling me now. It's just there's a bit of a sticking point with you don't know anything. Stop talking shite. Van der Beek was sort of mentioned a couple of months ago. He's a name that's always been hovering about. So again, now a lot of the ITK accounts who tweeted a few weeks ago, "Oh, we're looking at him," and now retweeting themselves, going, "Look, I told you." It's not exactly a secret. We're looking at him. It just what has been a bit of a surprise is how swiftly it's gone from looking at him to here we go, done deal.
Yeah.
Because that has we turned it around in the space of, I mean, almost 24 hours in terms of people getting wind of it to it being done deal. Because there's been no protracted negotiations. I don't know if he's got a buyout clause or it's just that's what they wanted. And I think United have just met the price. I think the price is reasonable and United have just met it.
Do you think they moved so swiftly because of how badly the Sancho discussions seem to have gone, that they needed to do that sort of kicked them into gear to, make this signing? Do you think?
Possibly. One thing, I mean, I'm not in the know at all, and I always I almost wear that as a badge of honour that I don't know anything. But on the channel, I don't know.
You are put NITK on your...
Yeah, honestly. Because I do get asked a lot, like, people... I went in Tesco's the other day, and I'm not a fucking celebrity or anything, I'm not saying I am, but some people watch the channel who recognise me and ask me, do you reckon we're signing someone? I was in Tesco's, someone the other day asked me, do you reckon it's going to happen with Sancho? And I'm like, mate, I don't know. But what I will say is, we spoke to... We spoke to Florian Plettenberg, who's a journalist for Sport 1 who covers Bayern Munich. And we spoke to Patrick Berger, not the ex-Liverpool player, a different Patrick Berger, who covers Dortmund. And they both, for Sport 1, again, it's a decent publication in Germany, and they both said the same thing. They said that, was it the Bayern Munich guy, Hones, who said that Dortmund are a selling club. That hurt Dortmund. It did. The fact that Bayern Munich, have won everything, won the Champions League, won the treble, hurt Dortmund. And they both saying, coming from different angles, one covers Bayern, one covers Dortmund, both saying the same thing. Dortmund, they think Dortmund aren't going to sell him this summer. They were like, listen, it's got to them. They're not happy with United the way things have sort of been dragged out. They've named the price, United aren't meeting it. And now they're at a point that deadline to them meant something. And things like Michael Zorc, the Dortmund sporting director, and Vatska, the CEO, both said this sort of deadline and it's not happening. And he said that it's far in their mind now. He's staying for the season. He's there till next summer. And United are going to have to go again next summer if they want him. Now, again, I'm not in the know. That's what these guys from Germany are telling me. Things might change. United might go in and go boom, and that might. But they were pretty adamant. They said, one of them, I think it was Patrick Berger, even said, he thinks now, even if United, he says he thinks negotiations are pretty much dead in the water. He said to the point of even if United came up with the offer, now he thinks Dortmund would say not this season. So we'll have to see. But Sancho, in answer to your question, I think that very much that could be the thinking that Sancho ain't happening. Let's move on, because he's not the same player as Sancho. He's not at all. But he's an attacking player, I should say. So it's not a centre back or right back, is it? Where you're going to go, well, okay, we're still going to go for Sancho. This might be United saying Sancho ain't happening. We need to move on, or we need to get because it's been a dreadful. I mean, to be fair, we all hate the Glazers. The Glazers parasites are horrible. But I'm not going to defend them in any way, shape, or form. But in United's defence, you can say, okay, the season only ended, a few weeks ago for us. Yeah. There's still a long way to go to the transfer window. The problem is the season starts again very soon. So if you want players in for the start of the season, you've got like that 4-week window to do it. Yeah. Which, whilst there's a pandemic on as well, and everyone's sort of, the market shifted a little bit, it's difficult. But you look at Chelsea, who have just gone massive in the, talk about can go out or go home. They've gone ridiculous, haven't they? With Ziyech and I think Kai Havertz is almost done. Chilwell, Thiago Silva, they're just going fucking doolally. I know I'm missing some out there. I'm struggling to keep up with him. So you see them spending 200 mil. You see City got Ake and the other lad whose name escapes me, done fairly quick. Is it Torres? I think done fairly quickly. Arsenal did better. I was going to say better. Sure, that's the one Willian within it. They did Gabriel Magalhaes and Willian. So everyone's doing bits. Do you know what I mean? Other than the Scousers, I think, who's not really. Even the Scousers, got that Greek lad. So everyone's around us is doing bits. Chelsea, we were level with points with. I think in the end, did we finish level on points? I know we finished third. They finished fourth, but it's very close. Yeah. Level on points. They've spent 200 million. Arsenal spending. Even Spurs, who are notoriously stingy lately, they
bought from Wolves, didn't they?
Don't wait a lad. So, United, I keep saying this and I sound like a broken record. If we want to finish third again, which is realistically at this point, I think if we're going to be realistic, probably the best that's going to happen in terms of the league. I don't see us winning the league next season. I don't see us finishing second. I think third, again, even though it pains me as a United fan because I want to see us winning titles, I think third is probably the best we'll do. To do that again is going to be harder because of the teams around us strengthening.
Yeah, because with the way we got to third was we went on a great run, but a lot of it was down to obviously Leicester imploding and stuff like that, and the teams like you mentioned, Arsenal, Spurs, and Chelsea not having the greatest of seasons, and they are all getting reinforcements. For me, when I see all the outrage on social media about the Glazers and stuff, this is like 6-7 years in now, and I have very little expectations.
15?
No, I know they've been in charge for 15 years, but I mean, it's under Ferguson, it wasn't.
Oh, sorry.
It wasn't as bad as a transfer window as it was post Ferguson. But I have very little expectation, so I'm not disappointed when we don't have these. So I've come to my expectation is not to expect any, to have a sort of differing transfer window, because that's what we're expect. That's what's happened year in, year out. What more do you expect? It's embarrassing for the club. But that's the situation we're in. I always get pissed off with this. And I know we're all against Glazers, but I'm tired of these people that are saying the anti-Glazers, but in the bio, they're all wearing the new shirt. I'm like, well, you're putting money into the fucking pocket. You're not anti-Glazers. You're angry at your owners. But if you're anti them, don't put money into their pockets.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on since 2005, since he took over. There was the protest, FC United started, then there was the green and gold a few years later. I think it was around 2010, was it? When they had the green and gold campaign. Then we had more recently, we've had the unfollow United hashtag thing, boycott United hashtag. And I think there's a lot of contradiction. We get quizzed. I've been quizzed on it loads of times. You're not a hypocrite because you slag off the Glazers and you're critical of them, yet you still go to the game. I've not bought a kit since, I can't remember last time I bought a kit. But my mum and dad buy my kids the kit. And there's, is that not feeding into it and all that? And in terms of what I do when it comes to United and me going to the game and spending money, going to the match, I've had this argument loads of times. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's true. I've been at this club or part of this club since I was a kid, long before the Glazers were there, and it's my football club. It's not theirs. Yeah, I'm not going to stop supporting it because of them. And for me, supporting it, everyone's different. And I'm not going to get into this thing where if you're a fan in Indonesia or you're a fan in Pretoria or you're a fan in Timbuktu, you're less of a fan than if you're from Weast or Pereira or wherever. You're not. I'm just in a privileged position where I can go to the game every week because I live in Manchester. And that's how my dad used to say when I was a kid, that's how I sort of grew up, was going to the game like yourself. So I'm not saying that. What my point is, when I support Manchester United, big part of that is going to the game and supporting them physically. And yes, I do hate the Glazers, and yes, I wish they'd fuck off. But it's my club. I was here first, and I'm not going to just walk away from it because of them. Yeah. Now, that might be a hypocrite and contradiction in terms, but that's just where I stand, and I'm not changing that. And, I get where people go, well, you fucking slag Glaze, but you still go to the game. Yeah, I am. And I'll still slag them off at a game, and on obviously on videos we do, and blogs, whatever I've done, in however way, shape or form I can, in interviews I've done for mainstream media, whatever. But by and large, this is my club, not theirs, and I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I don't begrudge anyone actually going to the game, but it's when they start pouring more money into the merchandise and stuff and that side of things, because that's where a lot of their money comes from. Because I think the overheads at Old Trafford, they don't make as much, do they, from what goes on, for the gates as they used to, as they do from TV and merchandise and stuff. That's their main sort of pocket of income. But anyway, let's not dwell on football. Welcome, Donny van de Beek. Greatest name for any sort of cocaine references over the next few years. And that's all I know about the lad. I hope he's a success, and I hope there's more following him. Obviously, back to political stuff, because the Tories have fell. I have no idea what this sort of means, but the Tories have fell by 26 points to Labour in a poll of how the general public feel about them, which shouldn't be a shock, because as we discussed on this podcast quite a lot, how badly the Tories have handled COVID. You'd expect. I don't think it's anything that Keir Starmer's done. He's just not, Boris has sort of been his own undoing, I think, in many ways. And I still go back to the part of the the Brexit vote and the last general election is that if Jeremy Corbyn had stepped aside, then I think Labour would have won the last election. Just down to, I think it was down to a leadership thing rather than it was a massive loving for the Tories.
Oh, interesting. I do think Johnson does have that little bit of, or did have it. He's lost his luster now a little bit. I do think he does have that little bit of, I don't want to say the wild factor because it's not. He just has that popularity sort of thing that he's very popular.
It's Farage and Trump, innit? It's the popular. And
I always think he's been able to tap into that a little bit. He's somehow managed to portray himself as this sort of likable, bumbling oaf. You see on Have I Got News For You, and he's quite funny, and he's all this sort of stuff. While actually, he's a real nasty piece of work. As I think it was Eddie Mair when he interviewed him said that. I actually think that the opportunity for the Labour wasn't in the last general election. I think the message, and I think even without Corbyn, I don't think I know where you're coming from because I think the party was splintered, but I think it was that splintered. Whoever was in charge, I think that he would have struggled. My main gripe was with 2017 election where I think it was a hung parliament. There was a real opportunity there. And again, Labour just did what Labour does far too often for my liking and just spent too much time infighting and undermining each other. They're having that investigation now, aren't they? I think they said that there was members in the party actively working against the party who were devastated that it had been a hung parliament because it meant Corbyn was going to carry on as leader and they didn't want that. And it's just a farce. But yeah, I get where you're coming from with the whole sort of the Labour issues and whatnot. I wasn't a massive Corbyn fan, but I thought he would have made certainly a better proposition than the Tories. I voted for him, and I would have preferred to have seen a Labour government led by him than the one we've got, the Tory one we've got led by Johnson. In terms of this pandemic, though, I think you're right, and I think that the handling of it has been awful. And what has amazed me is that they're actually neck and neck after all this, because it's been that bad that you think, how are they not worse? How is it not like you're fucking 30 points behind instead of level pegging? Yeah.
Because, but what does that mean? It doesn't. But they don't get a trophy at the end of it, Jay. They're not fighting for a league title. It's all academic until there's a general election. It doesn't mean 4 years
for that. No, you're right, mate. And it might mean something if the general election was next week.
Yeah.
Then you think, exactly. Okay, yeah. But you got 4 years, and you and I both know in 4 years' time, if the economy's doing well, the Tories will get back in. It's the old thing that Clinton said. It's the economy's stupid. And 9 times out of 10 it is. If the economy is doing well, people tend to be happy with the government. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you've got money in your pocket and you're working and you're earning a good wage and and all that sort of stuff, the chances are you don't want to see a change of government. I mean, other things can come in. Everyone's different. It's not just only that. You can be living in a crime-riddled area and you think that soft on crime or your schools can be terrible, whatever. But by and large, it is the economy, and I think that's what will matter. And I think there's that trust as well that it is turkeys voting for Christmas, but there still seems to be this thing in a lot of the general public that we have this sort of reverence for toffs almost, that they're, because they speak posh, that they're going to be, clever and they're going to know what to do. And it's a load of bollocks. And I think, that worries me a little bit, is that sort of, it's almost ingrained in a lot of people, that psyche of just like, we can trust these guys with the economy because they're all rich. What?
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree with you. And I think that's very much a sort of working class mindset by and large, anyway, from when we've sort of grown up and, it's sort of, we've become institutionalized as working class people. When we look at that, you sort of see, because they've had a so-called better education, that they will do better by the country. It's a massive farce. It's an absolute joke.
It is, mate. And, you look at the decisions that have been made during the pandemic and some of the fucking flagrant cheating and lies and deceptions that have gone on, where you've seen companies getting these contracts that aren't the best companies, but the job for the boys. Mate. Dominic Cummings' mates getting contracts and government contracts. Robert Jenrick was the housing minister. One of his pals got a contract that wasn't the best bid. It's criminal when they get away with it. And then, that's one thing. But then the other thing is how they've handled the pandemic. Late to start with the lockdown, no PPE for anyone, putting people in care homes who more or less, it was like, sending them to die. The herd immunity strategy that lasted about 2 days before they realised it was fatal and then got rid of it, and then denied they'd ever said it, even though they were on fucking video saying it, or on on interviews saying it, which is just bonkers. Having the worst death rate in Europe and trying to downplay it and pretend that that's not an issue. Making these arbitrary testing figure targets and then cheating to meet them, sending out tests that just get sent back and shit like that. Going U-turn after U-turn after U-turn on so many issues.
Yeah.
Because you're so fucking incompetent. It's just been how not to manage a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like whatever they've done, the opposite is the way to go.
It reminds me of when I first started out on this old poetry or whatever sort of line, whatever my career is. But people say you got to fake it to make it, and that just seems the way the Tories are sort of bumbling through the pandemic. They're just blagging their way. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, fuck it, just put it under the couch.
It's not even that didn't work. It's let's pretend we didn't do that. It's like we never said that.
But that's the thing is they just spin so much bullshit, and they just got the whole country wrapped up in it. Nobody knows anymore what's real. We're in the Black Mirror. It's like what and maybe and then you start questioning it, and then you question yourself now. Did he say it? I'm not too sure. And then you think, oh no, maybe, and then you have arguments with yourself, with your friends. What's going on? Who fucking knows? What year is it? Do you know, it's just mental. Just because they don't know what they're doing, and then the feeding up the amount of times the spins and all that in the press is just a joke. And I can't remember when I tweeted you the other day, and you said, "Is this going to depress me?" I said, "Yes, probably." I can't remember. It was a tweet. We'll try and find it later on. But it was someone saying that London is one of the most corrupt places in the world in terms of backhanders. And you were saying with the housing minister and how much money's being made that way, and it's corrupt. And what no comeuppance. So when you get no comeuppance, I know if I'm allowed to get away with certain things, like if I say the missus I'm going out for ages and then I carry on doing it, they shouldn't tell me off. I'm going to carry on going. Do you know what I mean? If you're dancing on thin ice, if you're skating on thin ice, you may as well dance, and that's what the Tory government's doing. Yeah.
They are, mate, and it is deflating that we've got at least another whatever it is 4 years of this fucking disaster taking us towards the abyss. I just hope that within those 4 years we get some level of competence, because we've had nothing but incompetence at the minute. And talking of sort of incompetence and depressing things and polls as well.
Why don't you G up the viewers a bit more to stay watching us, Jake?
I know, sorry. Don't worry, I know.
Here's some more depressing news.
I've not even got to the worst depressing news that's happened recently yet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, obviously, not obviously, but the recent polls that Donald Trump's misquoting a little bit that some of these polls saying that he's ahead and all this. He's not. But there are signs that maybe we're heading towards a sort of 2016 scenario where he could start creeping up. In the battleground states, they're saying it maybe, so certain polls are saying it's a little bit closer than it was a few weeks ago. And there's now this sort of narrative building that, are we going to see another 2016 where he was behind in the polls? I know he lost the popular vote, but he was behind in the polls and he won the Electoral College because he crept up. And there was that whole thing of like some of the polling was flawed because people don't like to admit they vote for Donald Trump. Not everyone, a lot of them are proud, make America great again, fucking, knobheads. But sorry if you're Donald Trump fan if you're watching, but if you've not admitted Scotty talk about Trump before, I don't know what the fuck you're watching this for. But by and large, there's people that secretly think, I quite like him. I quite like what he stands for, fucking getting there. But they will never admit that if they get asked. So there's that sort of thinking has that skew if the polls a bit, the battleground states are looking a bit closer. Could Trump end up getting over the line? Also, the fucking nonsense where he's trying with all the voting stuff, the mail-in ballots and all that shit. But yeah, it's quite worrying because you can see the signs and the sort of dismiss him at your peril, I think is the word, because yes, he's an idiot and he's a dangerous idiot, but he's also got that core base of followers who just, regardless, some of the polls, some of the Trump supporters have. I saw one poll where there was Trump supporters who've been affected badly by the coronavirus in terms of they've lost a job and they still supported him.
Yeah.
Now he's handled this pandemic terribly. He's made us look competent. He's been that bad, cutting the WHO funding, fucking so slow to act. This ban that he says, this travel ban, that was bollocks. It wasn't a travel ban. He was nonsense. He banned China, certain flights from China. That's all.
Yeah.
Slow to act, shutting down certain cities, not others. Then sending out messages that you should go, advising you to drink bleach. I think inject bleach at one point was one of his pearls of wisdom. I mean, he's been awful, and yet he's still got that core base who are like, man,
where are we, man? Where are we? You've just said the president. I mean, and it was mad at the time, but then we were just going over about what the president's done and telling people, inject bleach. Well, I don't know. We might try it. It might be a good idea. Like, where the fuck are we? It's like, can you believe that you've just said that?
Do you know what?
Can you believe that you just ran off? You can imagine him doing certain shit like regarding like lockdown and all that. But the president of the United States told someone on a press conference about injecting bleach. And that's the world that we're actually living in. And now you're telling me there's a possibility that he might get in power after telling people to inject Dettol and other brands are available. Do you know, he's just fucking...
He said it to a doctor. His Dr. Birksey was sat there. And it was like he was ad-libbing, obviously, because he wasn't fucking scripted. He was like, I don't know, maybe we get some light and we inject. Maybe it was a way of injecting bleach. And she's obviously sat there thinking, this is the worst thing anyone's ever fucking said, ever. And going, and when like you might talk to your kid when they say something like, a bit stupid, you go, oh, right, okay, yeah, right, all right, yeah, well done, yeah. Leave that, yeah. You go to bed.
That's
now.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. That, yeah. Or someone with Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah,
right, okay, yeah, very good, well done. You're gonna have a nap. It was like that. It was like that sort of reaction, like, oh right, okay. I don't think that's something that would work, but any idea is a good idea to look into. Like, how can I say this without getting sacked by him? And then you've got like statements coming out from like doctors and stuff, or from bleach companies saying we advise people not to use our products to inject themselves to cure coronavirus. I think I've got the Rona. Right.
Yeah.
Get that domestos out from under the sink there. just get that Calpol syringe you've got. Get that and you dig that into you. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
The president just said it. Well, okay, yeah. Hang on a minute. Oh, I'm dead.
But that's like the train of thought of the leader of the supposed free world, where he stood up in a microphone and he's gibbering on, and all of a sudden the idea of bleach has come up. The light bulb moment is like, I know, bleach. That'll save the day. It's just fucking. How is that? How do you come to that? How do you still vote for that? It's
just bleach, man. Injecting bleach, Right? I tell you what, right? If I knew someone who'd said that, if I had a mate or a family member who'd said that to me, like maybe they need to look into injecting bleach, I would not leave my kids in that room with him. I would not get in the passenger side of their car with him and let them drive me somewhere, because they're obviously mentally unstable. Like they're not. Yeah, like, they've not got enough either intelligence or enough sanity to operate day to day on a day-to-day basis. And this guy, like you said, has got the nuclear codes.
But that, can you imagine the conversation in the voting queues? Are you going for Biden? About you, Trump? Like, I know the bleach thing was a bit hit and miss, but we'll all
right. So yeah.
We all make mistakes.
I injected bleach. I had to have my arm amputated, but I'm still here.
But I've still got this one to sign the election.
Yeah, exactly. I like his acts.
Yeah,
making Labour great again. It's a great slogan. But it's like everything he's done has been wrong. Like every approach to everything he's done, it's like George Costanza in The Opposite. Have you ever seen that Seinfeld episode? My favorite episode. Everything I've ever done and ever said has been wrong, and it's like that with Trump. You know, you look at how he's approached the race sort of wars, for want of a better expression, the race riots and everything that's going on there. You know, he's almost encouraging violence. He's like encouraging people to counteract these protests with anger and aggression and violence, and he's making it worse. And he's not, there's no sense of trying to bring that, calm it down or sort of unify the nation. It's just making it worse. And you saw the interview he did was it Jonathan Swan a few weeks ago? I know we've spoken about that, where it was just like, he had his pieces of paper, didn't he? And he was like, we're lower than the world. And Jonathan Swan was like, lower than the world? What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. And he's like, and he's going like deaths per capita or whatever, or deaths per person, or death rate per person is worse. And Trump was like, well, you can't do that. And he's like, well, why not? Why can't I use those statistics? Because Trump had basically been given like a child's guide of what to say to make himself sound good. And when someone actually quizzed him on it or went off that, he didn't know what to do. He just had these pieces of paper that he was referring to that had probably been used to help explain it to him, like you'd explain it again to a fucking, a small child. It's just, it's so scary, and it's amazing how he's not so far behind. Like, I know he's behind in the polls, but he should be on like polling in the low 30s best.
Yeah.
That
go on.
No, just say you always get an element of, people that will support the president no matter what because he's the president. And, especially in times of crisis because they rally around the flag. I get that. But how he's handled this and how it's been going for the past few months, especially, you'd expect him to be just fucking, you'd expect it to be over the election. You'd expect it to be like, there's no way this guy can win. And now I've got a horrible feeling he will.
I think he will. I think he'll get back in. I've not, on my timeline and the people I follow, I expect sort of the more, I imagine the more left-wing leaning, but I've not seen Joe Biden be retweeted once, but I've seen Trump, every day. And it's even if he's saying the most batshit crazy things, him being in the news and his face being there is a plus, because they say no, even bad news is no news. No, what is it? No news is bad news or whatever.
No news is good news.
No news is no what? No news is.
Yeah, when they say there's no news, it's good news, like, because most news is bad news, so no news is good news is what they say.
No, well, that was a bad example. We'll just ignore that.
Right,
no, it's fine. Well, we won't cut that just to make me look like a different idiot. But I was reading, Michael Moore was saying, wasn't he, that he was referring back to the 2016 election, and he was saying that it's very similar to that. But Trump's followers are more militant and vocal, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? I don't see, whilst I see anti-Trump on my timeline or the news, I don't see as much pro-Joe Biden, especially when you compare it to maybe the Obama years, where Obama was, that was the great hope, and everyone was like retweeting his comments or his videos and stuff. I don't see that with Joe Biden. And Michael Moore made a point that you need to be getting, why is Biden not talking in the battleground states? And you're saying, I think it's Minnesota and Michigan. And Biden's he's not even doing talks there. So what sort of strategy is that?
No, you're right. And Michael Moore, to be fair, he predicted a Trump win when no one else was. And he's very left-wing, Michael Moore. He certainly didn't want a Trump win, but he predicted it. He said he saw a path to the White House through some of the blue states. He's from Flint in Michigan, Michael Moore. I know you've watched a lot of his documentaries, so have I, and he's quite a prominent figure there. So he's got his finger on the pulse in a lot of these states. Yeah. Because he's from that background, and he's from like Michigan especially, which I think Trump won it by 0.2%. So he only just carried it. But that was a blue state, and he got it. He turned it red, and he did it in Wisconsin, I think, as well, and a couple of others. That's what shifted it. And you're right, and it's almost history repeating itself in the sense that Biden's almost following a similar strategy to Clinton and not going to some of these so-called blue states, even though Trump won him last time, and really hammering home his point. And you make another good point as well about more people are more anti-Trump than pro-Biden, and that is even with the polling. It's more people that say that. There's more people that hate Trump, and that's the reason they're going to vote for Biden rather than they like Biden.
Yeah.
So Biden's strategy and the Democrats' strategy, similar to the last time round, has been to hammer and bash Trump, and I think they need to do less of that and more of promoting Biden, because Biden's got his problems. There's talk about how he's mentally capable and because he's old and he's had a few senior moments and stuff. But, and he's been in the Senate and he's been in Congress or Senate, for many years, and I think 47 years or something ridiculous. So he's got a couple of skeletons there, certain votes he's done that people don't agree with, certain statements he's made. There was a little bit of controversy years ago when he nicked a speech off Neil Kinnock and stuff like that. But by and large, he's done a lot, and, you mentioned Obama. He was part of Obama's administration for 8 years. I mean, Trump's tried to take credit for certain things that Biden's done. The Veterans Care Act that was passed under Obama. Trump keeps saying he passed it and he didn't. So I think Biden needs to do more of that, just talking himself up, talking Kamala Harris up as well. Yes, you can still bash Trump, but not just focusing on that as your only strategy, because the people that don't like Trump don't like Trump. That's not an issue. You've got to get them to like you.
You don't need to sell. Trump will be his own undoing. You don't need to concentrate on that. Just allow fucking the king of bleach to fucking do his, to be his own downfall. And this is the problem again with when we talk about British politics, is that that's part of the battle. If they've got a fucking dodgy leader, allow them to just act like a lunatic. But you still need to have the PR regarding your own campaign and your own values as to what you're trying to do. And that was, and I thought that was absolutely brilliant by Barack Obama in terms of that. His PR campaign around it, it was absolutely sensational, because the talking heads that he got in it. He was very much like, I hate to do the comparison, but Tony Blair, when he was getting Noel Gallagher and all that lot into number 10, Barack Obama was getting very well in with the rappers and was going for the younger vote. And that's what Biden needs to concentrate on. But and because he's not, I fear that we are going to be getting Trump again in November. It's the year 2020, and what a way to fucking what a way to end this year would it be? Because was it November when
November the 3rd, I think, is it the 3rd, I think? Yeah. But no, you're right, and I think Obama had almost the advantage of, he wasn't going up against an incumbent, obviously, either time. He was the incumbent for one of them, and the other one, he was going up against John McCain. So he didn't focus as much on bashing McCain as he did, like you say, promoting himself. Because even though the Republicans had led, were in government when the global financial crash happened, and he, was able to point at that, he wasn't all about bashing McCain. And I think that was important as well, because, McCain, for all his faults, was a war hero and an elderly sort of candidate.
Yeah, he didn't come across as like the evil figure that some Republican presidents do.
No. Yeah, candidate. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And Obama was very much of like hope and change and yes, we can, and those slogans that hit home, and promoting a message of positivity and vote for me because I'm going to do this, not don't vote for him because he's a twat. Which is what Clinton did it. Hillary Clinton did it with Trump. She said, he's the worst. He's the worst candidate we've ever had in history. He doesn't respect anything.
That doesn't just because you're slagging. It doesn't mean that I'm going to vote for you. It doesn't work that way. What's Joe Biden's tagline? What's his? Yes, we can.
I don't know. Do you know what, mate?
Exactly, but and that's the whole point, is that you should know. You knew what Obama's was before he got elected. Fucking Trump's is make America great again.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just looking now to see what it is. Battle for the soul of the nation. When you go onto his website, unite for a better future.
What was that?
Well, Hillary Clinton's was stronger together, which, very nice. But, I mean, most slogans, by and large, are fucking meaningless. Make America great again is meaningless. But it resonates, doesn't it?
Yeah. But the point is, is that it's out there, and because the same message is going out again and again and again as a PR exercise. Like, I've worked in advertising, and I know how it works. And just everyone knows what Nike's just do it. Everyone knows it, and that's why you need to force it out people's throats.
Also, the thing with Trump, and you mentioned Farage and Brexit and all that stuff. Trump, when he won in 2016, he offered, right, no matter how ludicrous these solutions were, he offered an almost tangible solution to the problem, right? So you don't like immigration, I'm building a wall. You don't like terrorism, I'm banning all the Muslims. You don't, you're going to lose, you're scared you're going to lose your job. Your job's going to get outsourced. I'm putting tariffs on any foreign imports so much, so tariffs so great and so wonderful and so amazing that no one's ever going to outsource jobs from this country again. Now, you and I both know that's all a load of fucking bollocks. Building a wall doesn't, immigration isn't the problem. By building a wall doesn't solve that. Banning Muslims doesn't solve terrorism any more than shaving your fucking hair does. It's nonsense. But if you're that way inclined and you're going, oh, well, I'm scared or I'm worried or I'm angry or I'm this, oh, well, this is what he's going to do about it. This is what he's going to do about that. And okay, me and you can look at it from the outside and go, these ideas are fucking offensively stupid. But if you're trying to hold on to something, you're looking for something, well, he's going to do this. He's going to do that about that. He's going to do that. It's the same with Brexit. Take back control. Get control of your laws and your rules, and we'll control them. We'll take control of immigration and we'll do this. And it's like, yeah, right, great. What fucking laws? What law is it that you want to take control of? Yeah. People don't even know. But it's sort of giving you that optimism or that hope of something's going to change for the better.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just saying, listen, things might be shit now, but they're going to get a lot shitter if you vote for them. It's not sexy to people. People don't go, oh, okay,
you're not solving my problems. That's not a solution to the problems that I may have or I may perceive to have, and that's why you're seeing the votes across Brexit, because they believe that immigration was an issue to why there's a lot of financial issues across the country, which is by and large a load of bullshit. But nevertheless, fucking hell, the NHS bus we're going to give £350 million a week. To
Perfect example, mate.
Just everybody's lying. But they weren't pointing out and saying like, don't vote for them because they're knobheads. We're telling you the solution that you want to have. Do you know what I mean? They're telling people what they want to hear.
Absolutely spot on, mate. That's a great example of that bus that was nonsense. But it's something tangible. Well, if I vote for these, I'm going to get 350 million quid towards my NHS. You're not. That won't happen. But you've been told that and you bought it, and now you're doing it on the back of it.
Yeah, and then it's too late. It's too late once they're in.
Exactly.
And that's how modern politics works. It's all on a fucking wing and a prayer. Tell you what you want to hear. Get into power. Sorry, we couldn't do that. Bullshit. Anyway, there was sad news obviously this week. Tragic news. Sad news probably undermines it somewhat. Absolutely tragic news with Chadwick Boseman, who passed away at the age of 43. Had colon cancer for 4 years, and very few people knew about this. And I'm going to be upfront is that I didn't like the Black Panther film, but from a social point of view, I could see how much that role and that film meant to millions and millions of people, and how proud it was a moment for black people to see a whole black cast do that film, and it's a tragic loss on that basis. But I just think sometimes we're all going to pass away, but I think if the legacy that he's going to leave behind will go on for eternity. That film could be a pivotal moment in movie history, I hope, and it brings a lot of hope for the future for black actors that don't want to be put into stereotypical gang banging movies and stuff like. It's hope to and it wasn't just that film either. I thought it was brilliant in James Brown and the Five Bloods film, the Spike Lee. I think that was his last film on Netflix, and he was a fantastic actor. It's a absolutely tragic loss.
Yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head. I was just fucking gutted when I heard this, mate. Absolutely, just devastated. And the Black Panther film for me, I thought it was all right. I thought it was a decent film. It's just so much more than that. And I watched it with my lad, and he said, we always talk about it. My dad's into the Avengers and Avengers End. We watched Endgame last night, and his favourite bit in it is the bit of Black Panther. And he always says, Black Panther looks like me and you, Daddy. You know what I mean? Like, I know he doesn't. I wish I looked like fucking Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther. I tell you what, I bet my missus wishes it as well. But we obviously similar color and having that black superhero. And, you know, when I was growing up, you didn't have black superheroes. You had fucking green superheroes before you had black ones. You know, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, they're all white. And, you know, the black guy was the either the villain or the comedy sort of sidekick. You know, Richard Pryor in Superman 3 or whatever. And that Black Panther film, you know, it wasn't just a black superhero. You know, it was a massive blockbuster film with a lot of money put behind it. And, you know, it was set in, you know, Wakanda's a make-believe place, but in Africa with African accent and things like that. It was a real sort of, you know, it felt like a real sort of homage almost to black culture. And the pressure that was on Chadwick Boseman in that role to get it right, to do it the way it needed to be done. And he nailed it. And he did it superbly. And he, you know, he gave so much hope. You know, my lad and other lads and other black lads and other black girls and just, you know, will look at that and believe they can be a superhero. Do you know what I mean? I know it might sound melodramatic, but it's true. You know what I mean? Like, people look at that and you see the effect it had. And you see how people think, you know what, all superheroes aren't a certain colour. You can be any colour and be a superhero. And that role showed that. And he had, you know, imagine if he'd got that wrong, if he got the tone wrong, or he'd, you know, there's so much pressure on him to do that. And he did it when he had cancer. Do you know what I mean? He got it right. He nailed it. And, you know, it was an inspiration to millions of people around the world. And you mentioned the Five Blood, not just Black Panther, but that's the role, that the iconic role that he'll probably be remembered for. And, you know, his everlasting legacy will probably be that role, and rightly so in a way. But also, you know, was it Thurgood Marshall film and James Brown? And I saw him in the Jackie Robinson film, was it 42? Which was the first time I saw him. I thought it was superb. Again, an iconic. He's playing such an important figure. If you get that one wrong, you're going to hear about it. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, to know that he was ill when this was going on, and he had so much time for his fans. He did so much. We saw him when he broke up, talking about how he'd exchanged letters with, I think, with a cancer patient. We saw him meeting fans who broke down when he met them, and it was just made their day. And he was a wonderful, you know, from everything that you've seen, from the tributes you've seen from the actors that work with him, he was obviously, and from, you know, the interviews you get, a wonderful human being, a wonderful man. And he did probably, I don't want to sound melodramatic here, but one of the most important roles in cinema in the past 30 years. It really is. It's, you know, it is. It's the first time you've really had that to that level. You know, you've had the Don Cheadle or whatever as Warhammer, or you've had the, you know, Andy Mackie as Falcon, but that's not the same as having a lead in a superhero film who's black, he's from Africa, and, you know, and it's Black Panther. And there's millions and millions of kids around the world that look at that as an inspiration. And you know, that's thanks to him. And, you know, I've not told my lad, each to their own, my lad's 5. I don't know if he'd get his head around it. Do you know what I mean? But we were watching Endgame, and Black Panther comes. So I'm not a plot spoiler. Everyone knows that iconic bit at the end, towards the end of the film, in the final battle. And when Black Panther appears through the portal, you know, my lad's cheering like so many others are, and it's just so fucking sad, man. It just really is. And do you know what I mean? I'm just glad we had someone like Chadwick Boseman for the years that we had him. And I'm gutted we didn't have him for longer, but I'm grateful that we had him, and his films will live on forever. And, you know, it'd be a disservice just to say he was just, you know, he's Black Panther, because he wasn't, as you mentioned. He's fantastic in The Five Bloods, fantastic in all the films he's in. He is just an absolutely superbly gifted man. But Black Panther's just changed the landscape for so many. And I hope those films continue. I hope they work out a way of not just replacing the actor. Fuck that, you know. But, you know, maybe change the sort, because I know there was another one planned, and maybe they bring in a different character or something. Change
the dynamics of the film. And stuff.
So, you know, you're not just saying, oh, this is the new Black Panther, and, you know, and he's the same character but a different actor. Fuck all that.
I can't imagine that's a brave Hollywood exec that sort of tries to
that's fucking stupid if we do that. But I think it'd be good to see those films continue in some way.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, what a wonderful man, and the world's it's a worse place that he's not in it, and it's just another one, and it's fucking probably the most in a year of shocks. It's probably the most shocking thing that we've had so far. One of the most shocking things, certainly, that I can think of, and it's just something that's obviously still sort of raw. I'm still sort of. I feel for obviously the people that knew him and his family and everyone else, because he was hiding this illness as well. There was then pictures of him on the way he lost weight, and people were sort of making comments and whatnot. And now you understand why. I think 4 years he's been battling it whilst making all these films that we've spoken about. He's just unbelievable, and he's just a truly great actor and a truly great guy.
Yeah, I think it's quite fitting that he'll be remembered for the superhero film, because when you watch superhero films, what they do is give hope to lots of people, and that's what his career was. It gave hope to a race of people. So I mean, if anyone wanted a legacy to leave behind, that would be it. As tragic as it has come to a very early end. Probably don't want to leave on a sober note, but. How was your day anyway, Jay?
I've been, I know, mate. Do you know what? We and you were speaking yesterday, weren't we? And I know you were working and whatnot. And I thought I didn't even want to talk about it yesterday when I first found out, mate. I was really, I'm not one of them. I think, because you come from a sort of news background and you sort of get immune to bad news. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. A little bit, unless it's your own personal tragedies. I remember was it 2016, 2017 when we lost Bowie and Carolina Hearn and Victoria Wood and Prince.
Yeah, you become numb to it, don't you?
Yeah, and these are people that I really loved and respected, and you do sort of become numb to it. But yesterday, mate, I was really struggling with that one, and it was really sad. But today, the family, my missus and my youngest went to Harry Potter World. So we've just watched, because I'm a bit reluctant to watch or get involved in Harry Potter because I'm 40 years old.
I thought, is he going down the transgender route here because he's anti-J.K. Rowling?
No, children running around with sticks, waving them at each other. Not for me. But
nonsense.
Yeah, it's a bit weird for me watching a film full of kids, dressed up and that. Bit odd, but no, my missus was like, just get over it, come on. She's been married with me for years and years, and she went to Harry Potter World, and my youngest went with her. So we all sat down and watched Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first one. So we've only got another fucking 33 films to go, however many there is. There's fucking loads of them. It was all right, I've been assured that they get a little bit better and more adult orientated, because there's only so many films I can watch with a load of fucking 10-year-olds running around waving sticks and saying nonsensical words.
Yeah, no, it does get better. I'm not a massive Harry Potter fan, but the films do get better. I went to a wedding today. It's the very first time since lockdown that I've actually been in a restaurant, and I'm like, I know we're an oldie and stuff, but I've not been out. Lockdown has changed me mentally. I have such lack of wanting to do fucking anything socializing. I'm like, nah, I don't need to. I'm all right. I've survived for 6 months on my couch, and I've got to know my house a lot better. I can go to the golf course around the corner to walk around when the golfers and caddies aren't chasing me. And, I've got used to this world. So I had this sort of today, I had to put a suit on and go to this lockdown wedding. And it was just weird because it was... you were sort of sat, the tables were so far apart from each other, and it was the bride's family had to sit in one room and the groom's in another room and stuff, and it was a weird experience, but it was an Asian wedding, but it was just so lovely to sort of see two people, break away from all the pandemic and sort of all that. It was just nice to sort of see that, and the food was banging, man. I think every single wedding, when you make an honest woman of Laura, I think you should have a curry. I know you don't like hot food, but you should definitely have curry on the menu. It was banging.
Listen, yeah, all right, yeah, why not? You give me well, we had a curry tonight, yeah. But I'm proper boring, me though, with my curries, mate. You know what I mean?
I know. I remember when you had to eat that hot chili in Newcastle, and you started,
mate. Listen, that was hot though. That was like. Do you remember? Yeah. And they wouldn't let me down it in the shop because he said, like, the hoodies, you'll throw up.
Yeah.
And you have to do it outside on the pavement. and we were filming, weren't we? We were like, we can't have me vomiting on camera, because I was getting down like a bit, like a class one.
I wanted you to. That would have been fucking.
I know you did. You were fucking laughing your head off, but yeah, that was minging, mate.
I've just watched. Have you watched The Heart of the Sea? No.
Remind me.
It's the Moby Dick film with the guy who plays Thor. I can't remember the guy.
Chris Hemsworth.
It's a really good film. Anyway, I've never read the book Moby Dick. My missus has. She loved it, and the film was pretty good. But there's a scene in it, and I'm not no spoilers, but there's sort of there's a few of them that are left in this rickety boat, and they have to put a gun. They said they pull straws because they've got to kill one of them to eat them to to carry on surviving. And I was like, fucking hell, can you imagine being in that sort of predicament? And I said, just chop an arm off each and then just cracking on the arm, and then I don't know, go that way. And then this one brave martyr shoots himself, and then the guy's like, one of the people in the boat were going, oh no, it's tragic. This young lad's killed himself so he can feed his body. And then this other guy who must have been fucking starving, he's just gone straight for the blade. And I'm fuck, well, I'm not. I've no time for mourning.
To be fair though, like, I mean, I'm not advocating suicide in any way, shape, or form, but you're giving me a choice here. It's either start scranning on your mate or just fucking end it. It's almost level playing field there, pegging there into which I'm going to choose.
I don't know, Jay. Well, if we're going down there, then I'd take it you top yourself up. I'd have a go in your arm.
Really? I mean, yeah. Who are we eating here? Is this Scotty? Who is this?
It tastes a bit bitter. Must have been a
tastes a bit funny, this. Like the old Tommy Cooper joke, innit? Two cannibals eating a clown. One of them says to the other, "Does this taste funny to you?"
And these two clowns are going to say goodbye for another episode. I've been Scotty. That's been Motty. And we shall see you very soon. Thanks everyone that's been getting in touch. I know you all enjoyed that Harry Maguire rant. Free Maguire! Please share, subscribe, comment, tell your mates, and we shall see you very, very soon.